The man who is recognized by Guinness World Records as the person struck by lightning, more recorded times than anybody else. Met Roy Sullivan, a park ranger from Shenandoah National Park in Virginia, that holds one of the most bizarre records in history. He was struck by lightning 7 times and lived to tell the tale. This is the story of resilience, luck, and one man's uncanny connection to nature's fury. Roy Sullivan was born in Greene County, Virginia, on February 7, 1912. He grew up in the Blue Ridge Mountains and was one of 11 children. Roy began working as a park ranger at Shenandoah National Park in 1936. His attraction for lightning began in 1942, which is the first time he got hit by lightning. For the reference, every day, there are about 40,000 storms that discharge more than 17 million lightning strikes on Earth. That is 200 lightning strikes per second. Although this is a very high number, the probability of being struck by lightning is tiny, 1 in 300,000, with 24,000 people struck and killed per year. A single lightning strike is made up of several 100 million volts, with peak current in the order of 20,000 amps. Let's begin. First strike. It all began in April 1942. Roy was in a fire lookout tower when a thunderstorm rolled in. Lightning struck the tower, setting it ablaze. As Roy tried to escape, he was struck directly by a bolt, losing his big toenail in the process. For most people, this would have been a one-time brush with death, but not for Roy. The second strike. 27 years later, in 1969, while driving his truck through the park, lightning struck again. But this time, the bolt hit a tree and deflected into his open truck window. It burned his eyebrows, eyelashes, and left him unconscious for hours. And as you guess, Roy survived again. Third time's not the charm. Just 1 year later, in 1970, while patrolling the park on foot, another bolt struck him. This time, his left shoulder was seared. It's important to note that lightning rarely strikes the same place twice, but Roy seemed to defy every statistical probability. The fourth strike. In the spring of 1972, Sullivan was at work inside the station at Shenandoah National Park when lightning struck again, setting his hair on fire. Sullivan dashed for the restroom to put the flames out, but his head wouldn't fit under the tap and had to use a wet towel instead. The fifth strike. On August 7, 1973, Sullivan was patrolling the park when he spotted a storm cloud. He drove away in the opposite direction, like a bat out of hell. And when he was satisfied that he was at a safe distance, he hopped outside the truck, and yes, it was struck by a bolt of lightning. The lightning moved down his left arm and left leg, knocking off his shoe. It crossed over to his right leg, just beneath the knee. He crawled back into his truck to retrieve a can of water to douse over his hair, which was on fire again. The sixth strike. On June 5, 1976, Sullivan was strolling along outside when he tripped, injuring his ankle. He noticed storm clouds, rose to his feet, and attempted to flee the area. He was struck again, and you guess what happened? His hair caught on fire. The seventh and the last strike. On June 25, 1977, Sullivan was fishing from a local pond one morning when he was struck a seventh time. The lightning hit the top of his head, setting his hair on fire. The lightning traveled down, burning his chest and stomach. Sullivan fled to the sanctuary of his car. When he reached the car, a hungry bear appeared and strolled over to his fishing line to steal his trout. And Sullivan had to jump out of his car to scare this singed the bear away. Shenandoah National Park Superintendent R. Taylor Hoskins documented all 7 lightning strikes. Sullivan also claimed he was struck by lightning as a child while helping his father cut wheat. The lightning struck the scythe without causing injury. Nobody else was present when it occurred, so it couldn't be verified. By the time of his 7th strike, Roy had become somewhat of a celebrity, earning the nickname the Human Lightning Rod. However, the fame brought little comfort. Roy believed that lightning was hunting him, and he grew increasingly paranoid during storms. Despite a Guinness World Record and minor fame, Roy Sullivan lived to the age of 71, passing away not from lightning but by his own hand in 1983. His story remains a testament to the strange, unpredictable power of nature and the resilience of the human spirit.